Alright, so in this video we're going to talk more about chordal skips, but specific kind of chordal skips, I guess, moving from chord to chord, and a lot of times we'll call these that's supposed to be an I, guide tones. So as the name suggests, the guide tones will take you through the tune. It'll kind of guide you. I guess this is an adult, I suppose, and this is a child guiding them through life, I guess, or something like that. Anyway, so yeah, these guide tones are going to help you guide you through the solo, so that your improvisation kind of stays on track, stays within the chord tones. So we're going to be referring to these guide tones a lot. This is going to kind of be like our reference point for further embellishment. So, maybe we'll throw in a few chordal skips, this and that, but a lot of times the guide tones are actually the thirds, whether they're minor or major, and the sevenths. And the way that the thirds and the sevenths, they work together, teamwork. They kind of play off each other to help us with voice leading through, so that we don't sound like we're just arpeggiating through chords, but we're playing an actual line, a melodic phrase. So the thirds and the sevenths are going to be really important. These are what our guide tones are. There are thirds and our sevenths. And then beyond this point in the video series, we're going to be talking about embellishments and further kind of elaborating upon our guide tones. And typically, one of the reasons why we use guide tones as soloists through that are the thirds and sevenths are because your bass player is typically going to be taking up the root all the time. They hog up that root, and the fifth. If you're playing like a bossa or something like that, they typically hog these up. Not saying that they're bad, but we're not going to use them as our flavor, because no one likes to eat plain white rice. You know what I'm saying? You add some spice into it, and these are your spice. Alright, anyway, so let's get right into this. So these are the changes for the first 8 bars of Autumn Leaves. Autumn Leaves in E minor. So anyway, let's talk guide tones now. So I guess I'll use the blue color to represent our thirds, and the reddish orange one. I don't know. Let's use for our sevenths. So here we go. Our third of A minor would be C. All right. Our seventh, our minor 7, would be G, or we could also be the G down here. That's fine. Oh, I totally said that our sevenths were going to be a different color. So our sevenths, here's a G, here's a G. Man, I gotta get better. By the end of this video series, I'll be good at writing this. I promise. All right, so let's just pick out all of our thirds. So our third of our D7 is F sharp down here. Or we can have an F sharp up here. That's G. Dang it. That still looks like a G. Alright, F sharp. Our third of G. Let's throw in that B. Our third of C. Let's get that E. Let's move on to the next page. Our third here of F sharp, half diminished. It's going to be A. You could put the A up top, but I don't have that much room, so I'm not going to do that. Our third of B flat 7. Is it going to be D? Oops. I wish I could write more clearly on this. I'm sorry, guys. I'll get a better stylus. Promise. We'll make some better videos. Anyway. Now, our third of E minor 7 is G. So let's just throw both our G's there. So let's go back and do our sevenths. So our seventh of A minor 7 we said was G. Our seventh of D7 is a C. Our seventh of G major 7 is going to be an F sharp, or we could throw the F sharp here up top. Our 7th of C major 7 is a B. Moving on. Our 7th here of the F sharp half diminished is going to be an E. Or I guess the E down there. That looks like an F. Again, I apologize. Our 7th of B flat 7 is an A flat. And let's say our 7th here is a D. Alright, we could do the one below too, but you know. So now let's take a look at these. So these are all chord tones available to us. If we were doing it the same way as in the last video with the chordal skip, we could play any one of these. It doesn't really matter. But let's talk a little bit about the leading the voice here a little bit. So right here you can see that our 3rd here, actually you can stay the same and it turns into our 7th in the next bar. Now we could also do, this is also nice, if we start on our 7th, we can move just a half step away and we have the 3rd there. Now moving from the D7 to the G major 7, our C can move to the, oh, this might get a little messy, can move to the B pretty easily, half step, right? Or we can keep the same, the 3rd changes to our 7th there. Alright, so this is one of the reasons why this chord progression is just magic. This is the infamous, the great 2, 5, 1. So if you see a 2, 5, 1, and maybe I'll throw out a video on identifying 2, 5, 1s, but if you see this 2, 5, 1, this is jazz musicians' bread and butter right here. Yeah, you want to look out for these because of these really nice guide tones leading each other through the tune. It's really nice. It's wonderful. It's beautiful sounding. All right, so let's keep going here. So our B here on that G can stay the same going across to that C major 7. Our F sharp there can be played as let me draw it in here. We could play an E down there. That's pretty close, right? That's a that's a whole step right there. But we could also, if we wanted to keep the half step thing going, maybe you know, this isn't technically a guide tone, but we could use it as a guide tone. It's part of the chord. It would be considered chordal skip, right? Going from that F sharp up to a G could be nice. That's the 5th of that chord. Moving on, so I know it's going to be a little funky moving with this this page turn, but we can move from that B down to this A. It was a B. Here, I'll write it in right here. It was a B, and sorry, that B was actually the 7th. So let me put that in red for you. It was a B. Could move down to an A, which is the 3rd there. Or we could have moved from the G or the E, right? The E would have been here, and this E can stay the same to here. Or if you did decide to go with the G, you could just chordal skip down to the E. The G was here, that was the 5th. We can chordal skip down, or you could go back up, whole step to the A. You know, whichever you're feeling. These are all just possibilities that you could work through. I know I'm throwing a lot of possibilities out at you right now, but when you're going through this by yourself, you know, pick a single line and don't, you know, I'm just for the sake of the video, I'm drawing a lot of stuff over these chord changes, but write out these chord changes for yourself and write them out a bunch of times and just get different iterations on it, you know. Have like a clean page that just says, you know, this C is the 3rd and I'm moving to this D7 and in a C, and then I'm going to move down to the B. Do that all on just one page, one clean sheet for yourself. Throw in the backtracking, play through it, decide what you like, decide what you don't like, and then try a different route, right? Take a different path through it. It's kind of like one of those, you know, those books where like you get choices, and then it says like, oh, if you decided to go into the forest instead of walking on the street, you know, then skip to page 39 or something like that. It's very much like that. So, you know, take the different paths through it and really explore through these chordal skips and these guide tone lines, because there's a lot to be said in only these lines, which is why there's so many possibilities, and why sometimes it's such a daunting task. But these guide tones are going to guide you through. I know I've probably said that like 100 times, but they're going to guide you through, like this, these guys here. Yeah. Anyway, so let's get back on track here. So back to this F sharp half diminished 7 going to the B flat 7. I wrote a flat 9 in there. That's a tension right here. We can we'll talk about this in a later video, or we could just throw it in for fun if we're feeling spicy, you know. So yeah, if we wanted to throw that tension in, maybe I'll throw that tension in. That the flat 9 in a B flat would be B natural, right? So here's my B natural. Funny enough, we can move from, you know, something here, how we had this this B natural, or this B natural, moving down to the A. We can move back up to a B natural and catch that flat 9 right here, moving like this way. Oh, sorry, this is gonna get weird. Right here, right? We can move back up. Or, you know what's cool? We make that descending line going from this A. We can hit that A flat. That's a nice motion. You know, I love that half step motion, as you could probably tell already. You know, there's a lot of things we could do here. We can even move, maybe if this D is down an octave, we can go from this E whole step down here, right? We have this A. You know, we're going to the A flat, but also what's always available to you is another chordal tone here. That's B flat. Let me just specify that this flat 9 is a B natural. Well, I suppose the correct spelling, we wouldn't call it a B natural. I just call it B natural because, you know, in terms of when you're on the bandstand, you know, I never look at that and think C flat, but I guess that would be the correct way of saying this. That it's that C is the 9th, and you would be making a flat 9th. So you would have a. Oops, I should have put that in a different color. So you'd have a flat 9 there, right? So you'd have a C flat. But on the bandstand, I'm not sure too many people that think C flat. But if you're one of those people, good for you. That's awesome. I have a smaller brain than you, so I'm just going to go with B natural. But in any case, you can move to that C flat, or we keep, you know, you can move back up to just the regular tonic from that from your A flat, or from your A natural right here. You can move A natural, this A natural. Sorry, I'm not really connecting these very well, but you can move from this A natural to your B flat, and that's another half step motion right there. Right, these guide tones are just so rich with information, like paths that we could take. So this A flat, moving to our next chord, you can hit this G easily, and as you can see, there are so many like of the same patterns recurring. Like this D right here in the 3rd, that can move here, stay the same to that E minor 7. All right, and then you got the same chord going out. So you know you could stay the same, or you could jump, chordal skip, use some other embellishments that we're going to be talking about. I know this video is kind of long, dense with information, and I know sometimes I'm going too fast. So you know, feel free to email me. I'll throw my email in the description if you have any questions on any of this stuff. You know, I love talking music. I love talking theory. So you know, I'd be glad to have a conversation about this with you. I was gonna play through some of these lines for you, but I think we're already at almost 15 minutes, so maybe I'll save that for another time. But you definitely need to play through these. You need to start writing these out, and you need to start playing through these changes. Get a backtracking, and let's do it. I definitely want to hear some of that. Just last thing. This is your minor 2-5-5-7 altered to 1. So this is another progression that we like to look out for. This is a minor 2-5. As you can see, the guide tones lead you through. If you think about this modally, it kind of changes a little bit. We don't really stay in the same parent key when we do this, but that's you could stay in the same parent key, but if you're thinking of this as like a 7 half diminished, you definitely could do that. But the way that I like to play is that I like to break this tune up. Technically this tune's completely diatonic, right? Except for this guy right here is not. But he can be subbed anyway. And I know we talked about the 2-5-1 here. I just want to also mention that this is the 4 chord right here. It implies Lydian. So anyway, we'll talk modes and stuff in other videos. So this was our video on guide tones. Hope you got some information out of this. Let's just keep plowing through. Let's talk about embellishments next. All right. Anyway, thank you.